Hi, I'm Tommy Mull, and I'm here with the debut episode of my new series, Knights of the Round Table, with guest Ioan Gruffudd. It's fitting that Ioan is here, and this is Knights of the Round Table, because he has played a Knight of the Round Table in the movie King Arthur. He's also known for being in Titanic, playing Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four series, and most recently starring in San Andreas, and having his own TV show called Forever. Also, one of the reasons why we're here, and why I'm wearing this kit, is because we have a shared passion and love for soccer. He's actually from the UK, and he has a love for it, and I'm from the United States, where it's nowhere near as popular as it is there. So, let's talk about that. So who's your club? Who are your players? Give me some background.
Swansea were promoted to the Division 1 as it was then. And at one point they were at the top of the league for several years. So we're talking about players, Bob Latchford, Leighton James. These are sort of heroes of mine growing up. And my father was a huge fan of Liverpool because in their heyday, you know, they were the team to follow there in the UK. I am slightly obsessed with it, and it is a way, I guess, of keeping in touch with the culture that I grew up with back home. It's a real sort of galvanizing thing. I think we can all come together for the love of the game. And as you said, it's all encompassing now with Twitter and Instagram. We can sort of have it sort of 24/7. We have these influences from all these fantastic cultures from all over the world. It's only a matter of time that all those players will be playing either abroad in South America or Spain or Italy or the UK, or even here. I mean, the MLS is on the charge, and we can see week in, week out now. I mean, it's getting live television coverage, prime-time live television coverage, and I think that's what the sport needed, I think, to elevate it to that next level. I think it's great to see that MLS is there live, and every time you turn it on, you see that the stadiums are jam-packed. And I, for one, I'm very excited, being a Liverpool supporter, of course, to see the arrival of Steven Gerrard this summer to the Galaxy.
One of the most exciting moments of my life was when I was a young kid. David Beckham was just coming to the Galaxy, and I was at a different school, and he walked into my elementary school drama class because he was touring the school for his son. And I think that was one of the coolest moments, to see a guy that I've watched on TV and kind of viewed him as a superstar for my entire life. To see him walk in the door was one of the coolest moments I've ever experienced.
It's quite a thrill, isn't it? It is quite a thrill. It's interesting. I'm around, you know, global faces when I'm working as an actor, and global icons from the acting world and from the movie world and the TV world. But I don't really get tongue-tied around them because it's my vocation and that's what I do. I only ever get tongue-tied around sportsmen and women. It's very exciting.
So I'm going to go to a new part of this right now, and what we're going to do is we're going to discuss our team of the year. So we're going to talk about specifically the British Premier League, and we're going to pick from every position a starting 11 for who we think was the best in the entire Premier League.
They probably won't compare at all. There'll probably be a lot more Man United players than yours.
Oh, I'm trying to take away the bias, but I was tempted to put Juan Mata in there. Although Juan Mata played more right mid this year under Louis van Gaal's system. Also, he scored a bicycle kick and 2 goals against Liverpool, which I'll take pride in, certainly.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? Okay. I certainly do. I was also tempted to put Man United player Ashley Young in there because Young has had an emergence.
Yeah.
He went from having no space in the Man United team to being a consistent first-team player. So to finish off the team of the year, I'm going to go with my defenders. I put a left back, unorthodox, because he only played there for a few games, but my left back is Daley Blind.
Daley Blind. Van Persie with an early run, he's onside this time! It's 1-1!
Daley Blind played center back, center defensive mid, and left back, all at different times in the season. He makes my team of the year because he was solid. Yet again, we talk about stats. He had pretty okay stats, but the fact that he was brilliant on in the left back position, linking up with Ashley Young down the wing, and also the fact that he could hold and control games with his precise passing, he makes my team. Center backs, John Terry and Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling is the big whoa, but John Terry is pretty You'd expect him to be there. He was great. He was the captain of Chelsea as they went on to win the league pretty handily. Chris Smalling, on the other hand, I saw him play this summer as I followed Man United across the country on their U.S. tour. He did not look impressive. He had certain times where he was giving away a lot of fouls. Obviously, he's had penalties, including in the Manchester derby against Manchester City. But the fact that he played such solid defense down the second half of the year, and that he's became the captain eventually to slot in for some games, is pretty huge. And I think he makes a team of the year for that reason.
I'm going to bring in my strikers and my midfield in comparison to yours. I had Alexis Sanchez up there up front. And being a Swans fan, of course, I picked Wilfred Bony as well. I loved his towering presence, even though he was then eventually sold to Manchester City towards the end of the season, you know, in their transfer window in January. And then I have to agree with you, yes, Eden Hazard, I think he was probably, well, he was the player of the season from the PFA and from the players themselves. So that's he's definitely there in my team also. On the right, I've got Wayne Routledge from Swansea on the right. I thought he performed magnificently this season. And then in the middle, I've got Matic also. And then I toyed with Fabregas because statistically, yes, he was tremendous this year. But this is where my bias sort of came in. I put Coutinho in there, the little magician. I thought he had a terrific season.
The reason why I disagree with Philippe Coutinho is the fact that he had 4 goals and 4 assists. While I know there's more things you can do off the ball, not with the ball at your feet, I think the fact that Angel Di Maria had 3 goals and 10 assists and was considered a flop is ridiculous, considering Philippe Coutinho is a magic man with 4 and 4. But I understand Di Maria was expected to maybe repeat his success at Real Madrid with 11 and 26. But I do see what you say there. But if I was judging statistically, I wouldn't put him in my team.
No, you're right. I mean, it's interesting, this idea of stats that we are sort of obsessed with here in America. Stats are, I mean, listen, they are vital, and they give you an idea of the player, and they don't lie, do they? But it's interesting that being such a small stat, you know, for both Di Maria and Coutinho. If you go back to the old days, we would just look at performances, and it seemed to me that his performances weren't up to scratch compared to, yes, what he did for Real. But just on the day, it didn't seem that his heart was in it, where you could see some sort of consistency throughout Coutinho's play, throughout the years. And I'm going to defer to your goalkeeper, who may no longer be your goalkeeper by the end of the summer. Yeah. God forbid. Hey, David De Gea. I mean, who's been extraordinary. And I think probably one of the main reasons that those scrappy 1-0 victories that Man United achieved to maintain that sort of rhythm towards the end of the season to get that Champions League spot was as a direct result of David De Gea being in goal. I mean, the amount of goals that he saved and the matches that he won, I think, for Man United reflects why the big boys over in Spain after his signature this summer.
I'd agree with that. Also, going back to the David Moyes conversation, I was not the biggest fan because it sucks to have to watch your team lose. But what's interesting is the signings he made, Juan Mata and Marouane Fellaini, they were good, I guess you could say at times. Fellaini had a horrible first season. I stuck with him. I believed in him. I thought he could do it. And then this season, boom, they're stars, all-stars, best in the league basically. Fellaini has had an amazing resurgence. And Juan Mata continued to be brilliant, especially playing in a different position than he's ever played before. How much of that would you credit to the foresight of David Moyes or the coaching of Louis van Gaal?
If Moyes had been given the same opportunities, I'm sure Moyes would have done equally as good a job. As amazing as Van Gaal is, and you can't deny his record, it just seemed that it was bound to happen. I mean, look, Moyes saw the greatness in Fellaini at Everton, brought him over. We all saw the greatness of Mata down at Stamford Bridge, and he was brought up. For them to suddenly start performing I don't think it was anything to do with the manager. They just needed time to bed in there in Manchester. Really to galvanise a team that quickly to finish in the top 4. Obviously not pushing for the title, but really impressive. And for us, you know, from Liverpool, a big disappointment this season because last season there was such great expectation. No, it's interesting. So Man United went and spent an absolute fortune over the last year, and look at the success that they got. We got all that money for Suarez. And with the greatest of respect to the players that we brought in, it's not the same league. And I know you're trying to build a squad for an entire season, and Liverpool were in the Champions League, and you wanted to have players to be brought in to the fold, but they all capitulated so dramatically, especially in the Champions League and in the league. It was slightly deflating for a Liverpool supporter over the year. So I think they should go out there and really make a stamp like Man United have. They went out and bought big.
Gerrard's been there since he was very young, only played for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you see any signs of a leader emerging in anyone at that club, or do you think it's going to be someone that they have to buy?
I think Jordan Henderson, without a doubt, has that quality. He's still very, very young. I don't think he's quite found his position there, or necessarily his confidence, because Gerrard is such an amazing presence there. But I think he has those qualities that Gerrard had as a young player. So to be fair, I think Liverpool are looking for another Europa League finish next year, unless they go out into the market and buy somebody massive there as a striker. But it's very hard to attract big players when you're not in the Champions League.
It's true.
And this is Raheem Sterling's argument that he wants to go somewhere to win.
Obviously, FIFA is corrupt, so we don't know if it will be taking place in Russia. But we're going to talk about World Cup 2018.
Okay.
Do you have any, idea about who you think is going to win this next World Cup coming up in 2018?
It'd be great to see one of the African nations sort of come through and at least make it through to the final. I think that would be great for the sport, especially at grassroots level there in Africa, where the game is producing extraordinary players, and great for the country itself, spiritually and culturally and economically, to get a team from one of the African nations to the final. But realistically, I think it's very hard not to pick Germany again.
I'm actually going to go with another team. I'm going to say Belgium is winning the next World Cup. With the rise of Hazard, the potential rise of Adnan Januzaj, then having guys like Lukaku, Benteke up front, having guys like Vincent Kompany and Thibaut Courtois in goal at the back. It's hard to bet against them too. There's also
Fellaini also, I guess.
Yes,
yeah.
Scored 2 goals against France a couple days ago. But so you also have got guys like Toby Alderweireld, you've got Axel Witsel, and so many more great players. I think they're definitely up there in contention. They're ranked 2nd overall in the FIFA rankings for the national teams, obviously following Germany. The reason why I say Germany won't return to their success, even though I'd love for us to win every 4 years, with the retirement of Phil Lahm, captain of the team, great midfielder. Not only is he one of the best passers midfielders in the game, but also having him slot in at right back is key for the German defense, because you have Hummels, you have Boateng, Benedict Höwedes. Who do you put in a right back slot? I mean,
Wow.
Phil Lahm was perfect.
It's very hard to write them off just sort of culturally, the way that they play the game, though, and the way that they come together as a team at these big occasions. They don't let it phase them, and they've been there time and time and time again.
So, do you think that wraps up everything? Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's lovely. No,
Right?
I think we've spoken about everything. Yeah.
All right, so
Well,
thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Knights of the Round Table. I'll hopefully have many more in the future. I'm Tommy Mull, and this is Ioan Gruffudd, and thank you for watching.
thank you very much, Tommy, for having me, and see you all next time.